Hawk Newsom, thank you for being here tonight. First of all, let's start with your reaction to what the former mayor of New York City had to say last night.
Well, it's funny that, you phrase it, the former mayor of New York City. And the reason why it's funny is because nobody liked Rudy Giuliani as a mayor. There were actually high T-shirt sales of T-shirts that said F Giuliani on them. No one liked Giuliani. 9/11 happened, and he handled it with class, and he became a national figure. But what has Mayor Giuliani done since 9/11 except run his mouth? How is Rudolph Giuliani benefited America? This man's children don't even like him. He is nothing but a blowhard who runs his mouth.
Yeah, I don't, there were plenty, to be fair.
When you talk about him, because he's trying to define peaceful, most of the time, peaceful protesters as terrorists. If he really wanted to talk about terrorism, he would talk about the KKK, who's responsible for bloodshed over hundreds of years.
I want to have a conversation
blown up churches
about
with little girls inside.
Understood. That was terrorism, and I hear what you're saying. I also want to point out, I don't want to get personal about Rudy Giuliani and his family. It doesn't really get us anywhere, I don't think, in this conversation. But there were a lot of people who thought that he was a very good mayor, and especially, as you point out, after 9/11. So we let everybody have their own opinions about that, be that as it may.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's talking about mothers and fathers who are out there protesting. He's talking about black people and white people who are out there fighting for the rights of every human being, for equity, for human rights, and he's calling us terrorists. But I've never seen him take a hard stand against white supremacists.
No, I think he was talking about people who loot and people who ruin the businesses of people who built them for years and years. And I just want to play one soundbite because
so when America goes and steals diamonds and oils, who's calling us terrorists? When the American government goes and pillages different countries, who's calling us terrorists?
Okay, but you're saying, are you saying that if that's okay, it's okay to steal and loot because of those other things that have happened, which are also bad? And I want to play this. This is Ariel Atkins, Black Lives Matter Chicago, talking about looting. And I want you to tell me what you think about what she says.
I don't care if somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations.
Do you agree with Ariel Atkins on that?
Well, let's, so we're moving on past Rudy Giuliani, and we're moving into looting and a form of reparation. But let's be very careful, Martha. Let's be very careful, and I'd appreciate if you let me speak. Let's be very careful. The problem with oppression and white supremacy is white supremacy will have you criticizing the oppressed and worshiping the oppressors. Now, if you want to talk to me about reparations, nothing falls short of a solution other than people cutting a check. If you want to do something about reparations, cut the check. And we're not talking about going in everyday Americans' pockets. We're talking about banks like Brown Brothers and Harriman, who benefited from slavery, other insurance companies that sold insurance policies on slaves. We're talking about the American government that was founded on the backs of slaves.
I listened to you, and now I want you to answer my question.
Owes us reparations. That's what reparations is. You want to know what reparations is? I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you.
Sir, do you agree that it's okay to go in and break the windows at Gucci's or Macy's or Nike because it makes sure that that person eats and that person has clothes? That was my question to you. Is that ethically okay to you? Is it?
Okay. Okay, and before I answer that, I want to ask you this. Do you think it's okay that America kills people in their homes like Breonna Taylor?
No, I don't think that's okay. Of course I don't think that's okay.
Do not do anything about it.
No,
so
but
you
don't answer my question.
The officers that killed Breonna Taylor should be arrested?
No one thinks that's okay.
Do you think that the officers that killed Breonna Taylor should be arrested?
That's why you have two-thirds of America who say they support Black Lives Matter because they don't ever want to see police brutality in this country. Okay? But you're not answering my question, which is whether or not it's okay to take away people's livelihoods because You deserve the stuff that's in the broken window, okay? There's two different issues here.
Well,
and I wish you had answered my question, which you said you would.
Do you think it's okay for a country to profit off the backs of slaves and to pay reparations
You're having a circular
to other
conversation.
peoples and deny black people reparations?
You don't want to answer the questions about
honest with me.
looting and stealing and broken windows.
You want to talk to me about...
Hopefully we can have another